Hi, Dusty.
Hi, Christina.
You're looking tan and lovely.
You know what it is? We had this conversation before, and I was like,
We
"It's the
have.
self tanner," and that may have been in part it. But then afterwards, I realized I hadn't used it in like 2 weeks, so there's no way that's what it was. What it is you gave me when I came to visit you last the little bronzer drops.
Yes, I do.
I use them anytime the foundation I use, which isn't really a foundation, it's like a tinted skin serum because I've never been like a foundation person. I just don't like the way it feels very like claustrophobic on my face. It's like a sensory issue, and I've never found one that I like. And also, I just don't think for me it's ever been necessary.
You've got a very
And
even skin tone, so you're not the kind of person, like, if I had your skin tone, I wouldn't use foundation either.
part of me wonders, like, part of it is genetics. I just have olive skin, and so that lends to, and I tan easy, so that lends to more appearance of even skin. But also, I've like never been a person who's used a lot of makeup ever, and I wonder if that also has helped me. And I made the conscious decision. Well, I'm keeping this on. I made the conscious decision as a little kid to invest more in skincare than in makeup, and I've kept that forever. And I have a whole reason and backstory behind that. Not that there's a right or wrong there. Anyways, I'm getting hardcore scroll story here. I've been using those bronzer drops you gave me, which I can't remember the brand name of. Maybe you will, but what?
It's called Pi, P-A-I.
Yes, yeah, I knew it was with a
Yep.
P, but I couldn't remember
Yeah.
the rest. But I use it with a Typology's like tinted skin serum or whatever. And I really, really love it because it's like light and easy, and it makes even when if I don't wash it all off, like if I sleep in it, which often happens, it doesn't leave my skin feeling weird or make me break out or
Well, I'm
anything.
so glad that I got you a
I
good
really
product.
love it.
I'm so glad. It's so funny that you bring that up because I was actually just looking at that, like, maybe yesterday or the day before, and I'm like, "Where did I see that? I got Dusty that. I wonder if she likes it. I'll have to ask her." So,
I love it. When I run out, I'll be buying more.
really glad that I got you something good. I knew that it was a good brand, and I'd heard a lot of good things about that specific product. It is, and I'll tell you why you probably like it. Pi is primarily a skincare brand. That is one of the
That's
only
cool. That makes
products
a lot
that
of
they
sense why.
have.
Yeah.
Yeah, they only have that product as, like, a sort of makeup-y type product, but they're
Mm-hmm.
not a makeup brand, they're a skincare brand.
Yeah, and that's what and I love seeing that is becoming more accessible for people that are like tinted skincare products.
Yes.
And I love that's my favorite.
I've talked about this, I think I just talked about this last week on the podcast, but I did such a massive, massive clear out of my makeup,
Yeah, you did. Yeah. Uh-huh.
which I'm really glad I did for a couple of reasons. Obviously, the main reason was that I was trying to get rid of anything that had, like, highly toxic ingredients in it, but also it just like, I'm looking at my, like, vanity table right now because 'cause I'm having to record in the bedroom, not the office. My office is a just dumpster ground right now, that's a whole other story. So I'm looking at my, vanity right now, and it is, like, so much more, like, aesthetically pleasing to me that it's not
Yeah.
massively cluttered. Because I've got, like, a little caddy to store all of my makeup, but there were, like, a few little, like, sometimes you get, like, products that are in really nice large boxes that you might keep for storage, you know? I had a couple sort of, and I'm not talking, like, little boxes, I'm talking, like, shoebox size. I've gotten things over the years from, like, gift sets and stuff like that that were nice, and I've kept them for storage, and so I had my caddy on top of, like, this gift set box that almost opened and closed like a drawer to keep, like, additional makeup in and stuff like that. And I know I've never bought a lot of makeup, but because my mom was an esthetician and she worked in cosmetics, she would get a lot of free high quality makeup, so she would just give a
Yeah.
lot because she had so much. So I had so much makeup. I had more makeup than anyone could go through in one lifetime, which is weird for me because I'm not a massive makeup person either. I have a very simple routine, and maybe if I'm going out, I might do, like, some fun, colorful eyeshadow, but generally speaking, I've never worn a lot of makeup. So, I had all this makeup, and I had this big shoebox full of it underneath my caddy, and now I'm looking at my vanity, and I'm like, it is so much more calming to see less products, and that's the
Yeah.
case whenever you clear out anything, right? But because makeup is so bitty and because a lot of it was on display by virtue of how I was storing it, It
Yeah.
felt so cluttered, and I didn't realize how much it was making me overwhelmed because I
Mhm.
would subconsciously think, "I'm never gonna get through all this. I'm never gonna use all this." And sometimes I would feel like I needed to wear more makeup than I wanted to, just to use the stuff that
To
was there,
use it up,
you
yeah,
know?
before it, like, expires or something.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. So now I'm
Yeah.
looking at my caddy and I'm like, it's nice to see just only things I'm gonna use, and to also know that I would say 96% of it is, like, like, skincare kind of products and clean makeup.
Mhm.
I've kept the odd thing, like, I have one fun fact, you will not find a lipstick that scores well on the Yuka app unless you specifically look for a clean beauty lipstick because almost every lipstick uses a ingredient called titanium dioxide that's, like, super bad for you, especially in a lip product because of how we ingest, like, lipstick and lip products,
Mhm.
and so finding lipsticks is so difficult, and I found this brand called MG Naturals, and it's wonderful, and I really love it, and it's titanium dioxide free. May have talked about this on the podcast last week too, but other than, like, a couple of toxic lipsticks that I wear rarely, but I love the color so much, everything else is, like, clean, and
That's
that's
cool.
also nice to know is just, like, I'm looking at it and aesthetically it's more pleasing, but also mentally I'm like, "Oh, that's nice." It's all, like, clean stuff for my skin, so
Mhm.
I think that that's one of the areas that it's funny because there are so many things that, like, take up rent in our brains that we don't even know are taking up rent in our brains.
Yeah,
You know
yeah.
what I mean?
Yes, yeah.
Until you
Yep.
do something about it, and then you're like, "Oh, this is actually having a pretty significant impact on me on a daily basis now," because for the 10 minutes that it takes me to do my makeup, I am finding that whole process so much more enjoyable for the fact that I'm not rooting through tons of stuff trying to find what I need, and I am also feeling good that what I'm putting on my skin is, like, clean, and I know that it's clean, and, like so the whole process of doing my makeup in the mornings now almost feels like a little moment of therapy because it's really calming, and
Yeah.
I didn't think about how that would
Mhm.
be something that would happen just because I cleared out all my stuff, but there
Yeah,
we go.
yeah.
Anyways,
Yeah.
I don't know how I got onto that subject, but
Mine is, like the thing that's taking up space in my brain that's, like, so silly is my downloads folder on my computer. It's just
oh,
an
yes.
absolute shit show in there. It's just stressing me out so much, and I was thinking about it the other day, like, what I need to start doing is because, like, I know I'm not gonna sort everything as I download. Like, that's just not realistic in my workflow. I've been doing this for 10 years, and I'm not doing that. So, like, it's not gonna happen. I I can work towards creating a new system and new habits, but that's fine. But what I'm gonna start doing is being more intentional about creating, and I think I'm gonna create, like, a template and, like, a sticky note and keep it on my computer of, like, how I name files so that I always name them in the same way so that even if they're all in the downloads folder, that's fine. But then I could search the download folders easy and pull up what I need.
What
Do you
you
know what I'm
need?
saying?
Yeah.
Like, I think if even if that's the only system I implement, because that won't take me very much time to implement. And the reason why is because, like, on my old computer, well, it has like the keyboard that isn't working. Or well, it works, but it's like clackety. Um, it didn't have an inherent like a documents folder. I could only would let me attach to a cloud service, which I was like, I don't want to pay for storage when I have an external hard drive and I have it. Like, I just needed to store in a downloads folder. But the downloads folder was the only version I could have of like a documents folder. So I would just organize stuff
Interesting.
in the downloads folder. And I'm like, I don't know, a pretty tech savvy person, and I could not sort out how to fix the problem. And it just got to be overwhelming. And so I let it be and I just ignored it
Yeah.
for
That's so
what
weird.
worked best for me at the time. But yeah, it's so fresh. But the one I have now is an older model of a computer, and it isn't forcing me to only use a cloud of some
Yeah.
sort. And so I just need to go through because I also have stuff in iCloud. I don't use iCloud or Apple products except for my computer. It's the only thing that I have that's Mac. So it doesn't make sense to have stuff on an iCloud for me. But there's like so much digital files that just need to be sorted and cleaned up. But I'm not dealing
One
with
thing
that right
I
now.
like about how, and it totally depends for how many things you have in your downloads because I get that that can just be overwhelming, but I do like how Apple's downloads folder seems to auto sort into months. So what I find myself doing is like every 6 months, I'll go through and I'll just look at all the downloads that I had in one particular month and delete them. And then that might be all the time, like, all that I have
But
the
a lot
time.
of it is, like, stuff I need because, like, it has all of our
Oh,
podcast episodes, all of More Than Ambition podcast episodes. It has, like, client files. It's, like,
yeah.
90% of the stuff is stuff that I need to keep and that needs to be sorted and archived and, like, labeled for future use.
Yeah,
Um,
sure.
and so or, like, archived and then zipped or something into a folder. Because like, if, like, every 4 months or something, I took all of our podcast episodes and zipped it into a file. Because like, what if the unforeseen happens and we lose Riverside and we lose all
Yeah.
access? Like, we need a backup of all of that stuff.
Oh,
That would
yeah.
suck so bad if it just went missing. And right now, it's just hanging out Free Willy
Yeah.
in my downloads folder with like the randomest titles. And now it's going to be really hard to discern between which ones are from More Than Ambition and which ones are
Which
for
ones
our
are fun?
podcast. As I'm just
Do
already overwhelmed.
you keep any, and different systems work for different people, but do you keep any folders on your desktop?
That's a good idea. Well, and this one I have like an actual like documents folder. I just have never taken the
Yeah.
time to like set it up and use it appropriately. So
Sure.
it's just something that I need to do. I know full well how to do it, and I have some ways I can kind of shortcut it because I can just like search for certain like all the MP3 files can go into a podcast episode, and then I can like start to sort things from there. So like there are steps I could be taking. It's just kind of like one of those things that are taking up space in my brain. I'm just kind of like
No, that makes sense.
shove it
I've
down.
always I've always used folders on I'm looking at my desktop right now. I've kind of like minimized the window where we're talking. And I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I've got 8 separate folders. So I've got like a folder on there for my stuff, my writing. I've got a folder for my photography. I've got a folder for my work at Oxford, and they're all labeled. And so when I need something, I just drag and drop it into that folder on my desktop. And then I can go through and like subdivide later if I need to, but at least then it's
But
in
yeah,
like a
there's like
quick
major
access.
buckets. Yeah, and that's what I need. It's just like a really simple, which is why I think implementing like a better naming pattern in and of itself will help because then if I go another 6 months to a year without cleaning out my downloads folder, I can just search everything under like, like More Than Ambition and everything that pops up I just grab at once and pop in a folder. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, that it's
So,
and
and that's what I'll do instead.
that's something that I wish I did as well, was to name things better, because when you're doing a quick search, that would make it so much
Mhm.
easier to have the
Yeah,
file.
exactly. Yep.
Yeah, for sure. But it's those little things that just, like, sometimes you don't even know that they're having such a, like, mental and psychological, emotional impact
Yep.
because they're so tiny, but
Mhm.
you encounter them so often throughout your day, right? So, like, you have to go into your downloads folder every day when you're working. I sit down and I actually don't do my makeup every day, but, like, I do my makeup once or twice a week. And during that time, I didn't know how I did not realize how overwhelmed I was until I realized how much calmer I could be, you
Right.
know?
Yes, yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, um that was such a long tangent. I was gonna ask you something though. Oh, uh, how is the typology skin tint? Because I've seen ads for that, and it looks interesting.
Love it. I'm really happy with it.
Yeah?
What I will say too, the other thing that I feel especially pleased with is, like I mentioned earlier, I tan very easily,
Mhm.
and which I'm fine with, but it makes it tricky for makeup
Yeah.
sometimes because I
Mhm.
very much need like a winter, a fall, and a summer kind of a. But with this, I have not felt like I've needed that. I feel like it
That's
does a
cool.
really good job at like kind of spanning the breadth of my various, hues of skin given the season. Like I've been really happy with it. I think maybe towards the end of the summer, I might end up needing to do one like hue darker,
Lighter?
but
Oh, darker. Yeah, that makes sense. You'd have gotten more tan by the end of the
because
summer.
yeah, and
Yeah.
then but I also tend to wear less makeup when I'm more tan, so I'm not really sure like it would be necessary, But I'm really, really pleased with it. I like it a lot. I feel like it blends really well. It's very lightweight. Like I notice I'm wearing it, but it just feels like a moisturizer.
Yeah, which that's like you said before, that is becoming really common when it comes to makeup products, is you get a lot of BB creams and CC creams that are literally just meant to be, like, tinted skincare, and that's
Yeah, and that's
kind of
my
like the
favorite.
flavor.
Another
Yeah.
brand that you might like for lip colors, is called Among the Flowers, I think. I don't know if they would ship to you because it's just a small business, but they call them like lip, cheek, and eye tints or something like that. I'll have to find it
Okay.
and send it to you. But I've gotten them in the past and I'm obsessed with them. They're, like, a little bit pricier, but the ingredients are super quality, and they're all handmade, and the colors are stunning. It stays
Oh,
on.
their branding is beautiful.
Yeah,
I've
you
just
will love everything about them. Their candles
I
are
do.
amazing. Like, I am you know how, like, particular I am about candles, having, like, grown a
You.
candle business, and because
Yeah.
I know so much about how dangerous fragrances are, I'm all the more picky, but their
Mhm.
candles have wooden wicks, which is good for you for 1,000 reasons as opposed to most wicks. Most wicks have metal inside of them, so you're literally breathing in
Metal.
metal.
Wow.
Um, Unless you're buying a candle that says has an all cotton wick, it probably has metal in it. Um, and then they also use soy waxes, which is good because paraffin wax is especially bad for you. But their makeup and their skincare items are
Oh,
just
their
fantastic.
colors. Their colors
You
are
would love their colors. They have,
stunning.
like, one that's, like and I don't know if they still do because it's been a while since I've bought from them, but I should because I just recently ran out of one, and I truly do use it for, like, all of it. I'll use it for eyes and cheeks and my lips, and it lasts much longer than you might think it would last. I will say it's not gonna be something that's, like, I don't know, a commercial brand that's, like, meant to stay on forever.
No,
You'll have
and
to reapply it.
makeup clean beauty also doesn't last as long, like, in terms of even just, like, how pigmented it stays on the skin.
Yeah.
Like, the skin absorbs it more and the color fades throughout the day
Yeah,
more
and
than
well, and if you're getting a skincare product, it's going to because it's meant to be
Yeah,
absorbed into your skin. It's
yeah,
not meant to sit on top. What I
yeah.
will say is if I want the color to stay longer on my cheeks, I'll put, like, a lotion on first and then put it on so it acts like a primer, basically. But the lip color one, it's in, like, a big fat sort of cardboard tube, which I think is really darling, but, I love them. I'm, like, obsessed. They have, like, a burgundy wine sort of, like, rich red color, and it looks really dark in the tube, but when you put it on, it's more sheer and sheen, but still has the depth, and I think it would be perfect for your skin.
I'm looking at them right now. I'll tell you something else. I've been looking for a dupe for, this is so funny. While ago, I was getting tons and tons of ads for a brand called Trini London, which is a very British brand out here, from a woman called Trini Woodolph. I don't remember her last name. She used to do, like, I think, like, What Not to Wear or something like that. She was a
Okay.
coach for that. I don't know. She's had, like, a long career in the TV industry, and she started a skincare and makeup brand a while ago. Really good advertising and really good quality products. I ended up buying a couple pots of her, like, cream makeups. She was on the bandwagon of that, like, lip and cheek tint, or, like, the eyeshadows
Mhm.
could do different things and all that, and quality of the product's super good. I ordered a couple eyeshadows, and I got a gift for free that was like this, like, it's called, like, lip to cheek. It was a lip and cheek tint. When I scanned all of those with my Yuka app, they scored really badly, and I was devastated because I use that eyeshadow every day, but because I used it every day, I was like, "That's all the more reason why I can't justify keeping it," because if
Keeping
it
it, yeah.
scores badly and I'm putting it on my face daily, like, the
Right, yeah, it's
lipsticks
one
that
thing
are
if it's an occasional. Yeah,
exactly, like, the
yeah.
lipsticks that I've kept that I love, I only wear, like, maybe 3 or 4 times a year, so I'm like, I'm gonna keep that one because I really like it, I don't wear it
I think
much.
you'll be just fine.
But the eyeshadows, daily wear them, so I threw them out. I kept the lip to cheek, which was my free gift, ended up being my most favorite thing that I got from that order, and I've kept it because the color I wore that on my wedding day. It is the most perfect shade of, like, rose meets terracotta, and it
Oh,
just is,
pretty.
like, perfect on my skin tone, and I'm trying to find a dupe for that, and the one that I ordered from MG Naturals, I love the quality of the lipstick itself. It's titanium and dioxide free, and it's super moisturizing, but it doesn't transfer. I'm like, "How is this such a good product for not having any of the normal ingredients in it?" It's really good lipstick, and it was, like, this peachy terracotta color, and on the computer, it looked like when I was ordering it, it looked a little bit more rosy, and it's a little
Mm.
bit more brown. It's still pretty, I love it,
Yeah, just
but
not quite what
I
you're wanting.
I want a dupe for this lip to cheek that I got from Trini London so badly, and it actually looks like the one that you're describing, the darker one,
Mhm.
because 'cause I'm looking at the listing now of Among the Flowers.
Yeah.
That looks very similar.
That's
So,
exciting. It
but
doesn't
I'm
go on as dark. It's, like, much more sheen, but it is a little bit buildable, but not as much as you might think. But it's beautiful. I feel like the color is
well,
beautiful.
but and I like stuff like that. Like, as I'm getting older too, like, I'm starting to get some fine lines, and caking on the makeup ages you quicker. Like, I need things that are more sheer and I think look more like skin and less like you're caking up makeup on yourself. So, I don't mind colors that actually are more sheer and buildable, but don't have like such an intense color
Yeah,
tint.
I really like their stuff. It's so good.
I think what I'll do, because I don't actually think it's that expensive. So it's $17 for a lip and cheek tint. If you were
Yeah,
gonna
that's
get
not bad.
something from like Sephora, it'd be like $30. So
Man. Well, and I think that I have bought makeup from small brands that are, like, skincare type brands for so long that I had, like, my mind was blown when I walked into Sephora. I was like, "Wait a second. People be spending $40 for mascara? I'm so
crazy
sorry.
amount. Yeah,
That is an
absolutely.
entire dinner."
Nope,
I
I
don't
totally agree. I think this is really well priced. So what I might actually do is get some and have them sent to my mom because hopefully she's gonna be coming out to visit me in a couple of months. So she could just I always do this. I like get a haul of stuff that I can only get in the US and then I have her
and then
bring it
send it
with her.
to yeah, because they
Yeah.
ship in California.
And
I
I
think
so I'm
they're
doing this
by,
with the
Georgetown.
oh, okay. I'm doing this with my pour over. So fun fact, bought my
Mhm.
pour over. I've started using it. Love it. Coffee's great. I'm really enjoying it. I ordered it in this, like, indigo blue color. Originally, I was gonna get the white, but I thought I wanna add a little bit more color to my life sometimes. I do a lot of things like neutrals and whites, but I was like, I'll have some fun and I'll order something that's more colorful. So I got the navy blue or indigo blue, and it looked on the website like a greenish blue. It said it was indigo, but it looked very much it kinda looks like the color of my dress that I'm wearing. Um, it was not. It was very much like a indigo navy blue, and it's fine, but it doesn't make me happy, and you're one of the
Doesn't
few
spark
people that'll be
joy.
able you're one of the few people to be able to understand, like, it needs to
Yeah,
be
yeah, I
pretty.
would be send it back. Try again.
But here's the problem, okay? I've been trying to not give Amazon as much of my business. If I can order it directly from, like, the business that creates the product, I'm gonna try to
Yeah,
do that.
then try.
The
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
problem is
Well, do
it
they
takes
ship to
over
you?
a week to arrive, which, okay, fine, like, we've gotten used to instant gratification, I can deal with waiting. But then if I don't like it, I've gotta pay quite a hefty amount to ship it back.
And
And
that's
that
the thing. So I have what I've been doing is like if I will buy stuff on Amazon that like I'm uncertain about, but if it's like a repeat item or if it's something that like I know that the return process is smooth, I will go through other companies.
yeah.
Like go through the company themselves rather than through Amazon. Otherwise, like I'm simply in a state of my life where if I buy something and I don't like it and the return process is too much, I just will forget and not return it or
And
put it
then you
off
lose the
forever.
money.
And then I lose X amount of money. You know what I'm saying? Like I want to make responsible choices, but at this point this feels more responsible.
No, I agree, and I am regretting now having not ordered it through Amazon because I'm like, "I really don't like the color." But I
Could
found a
you
solution.
Oh, okay.
I found a solution. So, here's the other thing, right? Similar as to the Ember mugs, for whatever reason, the UK does not have as many color options as the US, even though it's a Japanese company and they could technically supply both countries with the same color options. They do not. America
Yeah,
always gets
there's
it wrong.
banana Coke, like like Coca-Cola. There's a
Yeah.
banana flavored Coke in parts of the world. I would like that very
Yeah.
much. Please send it to America. That sounds delicious.
What's interesting to me though
I'm
is like
very bitter about that.
that's unusual for America not to have the extra options. Like,
Yes.
with all due respect, y'all are Consumerville, USA. Like,
Yes.
you
Have you
you
seen all the videos of like Europeans coming to America for the World Cup?
I've
They're
seen a few.
hilarious. Brian and I were like binge watching them, like because they're so funny. Anyways, go on.
It shows the difference in culture, but to my point, there are more color options with the Hario in the US, and there was this beautiful olive green that I actually really wanted, and they
Yeah, this
didn't
was
have it
perfect.
in the UK. So my mom also wants a pour over. She wants the one that I have, and she's not as
Just use
picky
each
about color.
other's until you get together and then
This
swap.
is it. Yeah, I'm like,
Yeah,
"Mom,
perfect.
please will you just order this green one, and then, like, do you like the indigo one? Are you fine with that?" And she's like, "I don't care. I am not as impacted by these types of sensory things, so whatever. So she's
Yeah.
getting the green one, and then when she comes, she's gonna bring it, and then we'll do swapsies. So I got
That's a
creative.
great idea. You know what? It just blew my mind what you just said there.
Go on.
Is like having an aversion to a certain color a sensory thing? Seeing is a sense?
Yeah, 100%.
My mind is blown.
Dusty, there are certain colors that make me actively, like, feel
Yes.
utter
Well, and
rage.
it's not even the color, it's like the way the color is paired or how the color is used. I feel the same way about fonts.
Yep.
Fonts activate me in a way that I can't explain. There's a certain burger shop that I refuse to eat at, and I'm not saying it's because of the font, but it's a contributing factor.
I will boycott certain brands because I just don't want that font in my house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Yeah. And I know the stereotype is that it's neurodivergent people that have sensory issues. No, I'm as neurotypical as you get, but I've got some sensory issues too. Like,
That's funny. I never even. Yeah.
yeah, there are colors that
Doesn't
make
make
me actively feel rage, and it's not even like we talk about how color there's absolutely like an emotional connection to certain colors. Like there's a reason why a lot of fast food joints use red and yellow, and it's
Mhm.
because it creates a sense of anxiety, and so that people want to get in and out really quickly, hence the fast food turnover, blah blah blah. But it's not even that kind of thing. There are just certain colors where I'm like, that
Well, red is the
car,
color that activates hunger too.
that too. Yep. But I've, like, seen certain cars where I'm like, "That is a stupid blue for that car," and it makes me angry. You know
And
what I
it
mean?
makes me angry.
It just yeah.
The kids and I, speaking of car colors, I really like it makes me sad that all cars look exactly the same and it bothers me.
Yeah.
There's a car though that's like a general, I don't know, a standard car. I can't even think of the make and model of it, but it's this like deep plum purple. And when you drive past it, and it's just a few houses from my house, it's so beautiful. Like at different
Ooh,
times of day, it looks black or like almost blue, but not quite. Like it's very much a color that like responds to the light around it.
I
And
love
every
that.
time Sloan and I drive past it, we're like, "Ooh, it looks kind of navy today. Ooh, it looks kind of like plum today." Like we're so excited about it every time we like have to comment on the
I
purple
wish
car.
more cars were,
It's
like,
really
cool
beautiful.
colors, man. Like, I
Yeah,
really wish that we had more that used
but
to
not
be a
the
thing.
colors we don't approve of. If somebody could just check it with me first.
Yeah, precisely.
Yeah,
Absolutely. I
yeah,
need to have approval
this
on
seems reasonable.
I cars should not be stupid colors. That's
I
just
don't
the
know.
way
I
it is.
like a stupid color car. I think it's fun and
It
whimsical.
depends on the stupid color.
Like, what's it
Depends.
not? What's a color that you would be upset about for a car?
Cerulean blue that is matte and not sparkly.
Yeah. Okay. Actually,
Yes.
yeah. Okay.
Right?
Yeah. It depends on the car.
It
If
does
it's just
depend on
like
the
a
car.
commuter car, then bleh. But if it's like a funky car in some way,
That's different.
like a slug bug or like a Volkswagen,
Yes.
then you have to pick a funky color. If you're picking a
Yes.
standard color, except maybe white. But even then, I want it to be like not a bright white. I want it to be like a different kind of white.
But, like, funky colors are different than stupid colors.
Okay, okay.
They're different. I'm telling you, they're different.
Yeah,
Like, I
I don't
love
think I lucid as much as colors, except how like they're used or the color pairings. It
yeah,
really
that
bothers me when people will use. It actually matters for websites for how they're reached for SEO too, because it's how like the UI, like the UX of it. I mean, like how user friendly it is and how much you can read it. So like if you use two colors that are, and I can't think of the term right now, but that your eyes aren't contrasting enough, it will impede your ranking on social or on a what's
interesting.
it called? Search engines.
Yeah.
And it just because it's less, your eyes can't read it, so they're not going to deliver the information as quickly. So people, even if they come on, they're going to bounce off really fast because it's hard to. It
To
burns
read?
more calories to try and read,
Yeah.
and Google knows that, so they just aren't gonna put it up as high. You can still use those colors, but don't have like, like a soft yellow and a soft blue be the main two colors of your website. Have a lots of darker colors, like a dark blue and a black, and then have soft blue and soft yellow as the accents and have them show up in lots of places. That's very different. you know?
I feel like I have soft yellow and soft blue,
But it's
kind
not
of.
like the text is soft blue and the background is soft yellow.
No, no,
That
it's
would be
not.
impossible to read. Nothing on your website that I have looked at is hard to read.
To be fair, you designed it, so you would've fixed it.
Speaking of, can I
Yeah.
segue this into I'm doing 2 website client projects right now that are not, like, from the ground. Well, one of them is from the ground up, sort of, but it's just, like, revamping their old websites, and I am loving it so much because I'm just taking the copy that's already there, I'm taking the, like, kind of haphazard logos and typology and stuff, everything that they already have, and, like, making it what it should have been from the get-go, kind
Yeah,
of, like, and seeing their vision through. Because I think a lot of business owners start and they have this idea and this general vision, and they pick all the pieces, and then it just kind of gets muddled together. Like, maybe they can kind of pick the pieces that are important, or they're drawn to a specific style, and they know in their brain what it's supposed to look like, but they can't get it to that place. And so doing these services has been so much fun for me because I get to look at it from a strategic standpoint and say, "Okay, I see where you were trying to go with this vision. You missed the mark here, my friend, but like I can get you where you're
yeah,
trying to go." And it's a lower price point for them. It's lower turnaround time for me. Like I feel like it really meets everybody in the middle in this beautiful happy medium. And so I'm looking at what it might look like in the fall to offer that as a service and take on a couple of those at a time. Because the other thing too is we're not doing one big giant massive launch. So as the page is done, I just publish the page and I move to the next page. I publish the page and I move to the next page. There's a certain amount of stuff that I've had to figure out on the back end because, like, the way that a website works is like one page connects to the next, connects to the next, connects to the next. And if the user experience is so broken that you have one page that looks shiny and beautiful and really well done, and one page that's kind of like crunky.
that's a
That's
fun new word.
gonna go with that.
Yep.
Then it really feels disjointed, and it can make you feel like, wait, am I in the right site? So I set what I did with one client in particular is I did all of the primary pages for the primary funnel that I knew she was going to be promoting at the time. And I went through on the back end and did all of that first. And then we published all of those at once. So there was like 5 or 6 pages that all got published at once, including like the confirmation pages and the 404 pages and all of those back end stuff. And then I can keep just kind of tinkering in the background. And because of that, the deadline isn't have to be so intense, which is the part that is really hard for me, not just because of my ADHD self, but primarily just because of I'm a solo parent 90% of the time with 3 kids. And it's just hard for me to meet those deadlines in a way that's reasonable. Like the last 2 weeks, we've all been puking and other
You guys have
things,
been
and we've
so
been
sick.
miserable and sick. I still
Yeah,
feel absolutely lousy, to be honest, but I do feel better today than I have
that's
in
good.
ages. Um, but anyways, it's just been like a really nice service for people that I think is really going to bless people, especially because like so many like ministry minded entrepreneurs start because they want to serve their people. They're like not starting because they wanted to start a website and create the funnels and the sales sequences. And so I just kind of get to come in on the back end and like fix everything for them like a
Yep,
little
yeah.
fairy godmother and then hand it back to them. And it's been really nice. I'm really really loving it.
I'm so glad you found that happy medium. I think that's
Yeah.
amazing.
It's
I'm
really nice
working.
too because I think I can add it on as like a secondary sort of service to
Yeah.
like coaching packages and to like upsells for percolator students and things like that because uh yeah, it's been really nice. Cuz then I also too it's I think especially great is cuz the 2 people that I'm working with have been longtime coaching clients that I've worked with for over a year and a half. So
So
I have
you
a
know
really
them.
thorough understanding of not just them, but of their vision and of their strategy and of their goals. So I can make their website do those things for them um, without having to do like a giant intake form and send me all of your files. And it doesn't have to be this big process because we've laid all this groundwork already
Yeah, they're
for
kind
just
of already
working.
onboarded.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Yes, that's exactly it. So it's been
that's
really
really.
lovely. Yeah.
I've been working on a new web page. I'm adding a page. It's funny because you asked me about this when you worked on my website 2 years ago, and I was like, "No, I don't think I want that right now." And at the time, I didn't. It was a good call that I said no, but, I am now building a page to offer branding photography on my website. So and I didn't wanna have, like, a whole separate website for that because it's just gonna be,
Yeah.
like
I don't think you
first of
need
all,
a
I don't
whole
wanna pay
separate.
for another domain, and that's not, like, my main bread and butter anymore, but, um, so I can't remember if I told you this or not. I think I have told you this, but I found out that I don't qualify for the grant that I did last year for my
Yes,
things.
you did
Yeah.
tell me that.
So I'm stressing a little bit because I
Mhm.
need to figure out where I'm gonna get 4 grand from in the next sort of 3 months.
Mhm.
Um, and
That's a
my
smart way to go about it.
I'm just thinking that's a quick injection of cash is to do
Mhm.
some photography gigs. So I've done one that just kind of came up out of nowhere last weekend, and then I've got another client that has booked me for September, and I don't need the money to pay my uni until October. So that's already going to cover a good portion. So if I can even book like 3 clients, that'll help a lot.
That's
Um
awesome. That's really
yeah.
smart of you.
So I'm just like, it's not the thing I want to be doing full time, but I also I enjoy the branding photos a lot more than weddings for the fact that with where my health is, the reason I stopped doing weddings was because I could not do 12-hour days on my feet anymore. I just couldn't do that. But also, one of my favorite things about doing weddings was getting to really like bless my clients and be with them and give them a good experience. And it's
Mhm.
actually easier to do that with a branding client because you're not also batting away like the crazy mother-in-law who won't leave
Right.
your
Yeah.
client alone or whatever. So, with branding stuff, it's just I just get to spoil them and, like, make them feel
Mhm.
good in front of the camera,
Yeah.
and yeah, so I'm working on a webpage to just show I didn't realize actually, I've got a pretty decent portfolio of branding
Yeah, you
photos
have a
submitted
wide
too.
variety of stuff that you could
Yeah, and I
showcase. Yeah.
hadn't even thought about that because 'cause I've never really promoted myself as a branding photographer, but
Mhm.
I had you, I had Kristen LaValle, a couple of my friends who are coaches and writers. So I've actually got, like, a decent little portfolio for someone who was primarily just an elopement and
Yeah.
wedding photographer.
Yeah, I've seen people do, like, and I don't know if this is something that sounds fun to you or not, but I assume it would be really helpful in Oxford, where I'm sure there's a lot of entrepreneurs and creatives. If you did a day, like, I've heard people refer to it as like school picture day or whatever, where they just get like a handful of headshots, like 4 to 5 new pictures, and it's, 50 pounds or whatever. Just and everybody gets like 15, 20 minute slots, and you just kind of get a bunch of people through the door. Might something like that might be fun.
That could be fun. I think the only thing that I mean, in terms of just needing a quick injection of cash, that might be a good idea. I think
It can be more than 50 pounds. That doesn't seem like enough, but
the only thing that makes me, like, not like that idea is that one of the things that was making me excited about switching to brand photography instead of weddings is that I don't have to feel as rushed. Whereas
I
with
see, yeah.
weddings, it's
Well, you
very
don't have to do, 15. You could do, like, 3 sessions, and then you could spend 2 hours with each person or something. You know what I mean?
yeah, that's true. I suppose I'm the boss, I can do what I want.
Yeah, or
I don't
just
have to
do,
take a million
do
people.
2 sessions and spend 4 hours with each I don't know, whatever you want. But
Well, I wanna
I'm just
do
thinking leaning into going into Oxford is just, I feel like, a really wise
I agree. I would
because I
love
imagine there's a lot of people who could use those services, and, like,
yeah.
authors and creatives typically don't get good photos of themselves.
No, and Oxford offers a backdrop that really lends itself to that author vibe a lot,
Yeah,
and I'd
exactly,
love to
yes,
lean
yeah,
into that.
yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
well,
part of me
I'm
wonders, like,
actually
could you print out little flyers and put them in your coffee shops and things? Is that a thing that's, like, acceptable there?
I don't know. Um,
I would imagine you could, but
yeah, I don't know, that's a good question. Well, I'm actually doing a mini shoot for my friend in Oxford this Saturday.
and okay.
So it might be good if she's okay with it, I could use some of those photos to, like, create some little flyers,
Yeah, huh?
to put
That's a
around
great idea.
Oxford, because then people could get a feel for the style of the photography. I don't know. But yeah, so I'm making that
That's cool.
webpage
So
at the
smart.
minute, and it's so interesting because I remember a time when I really loved designing web pages, and I've never gotten the strategy of it as well as you have, like, you've taught me so much, a lot of which I've annoyingly forgotten, but, like, every time I
That's
talk to you
alright.
about these things, I'm like, "Oh, there is so much to this." Even, like, whether you're using an H2 or an H3 font, which I wouldn't have known, I would have just gone for what's pretty. I wasn't thinking about it from the SEO perspective. The only thing I think about from the SEO perspective is, like, copywriting because I was trained for that when I worked at the radio station.
But
But,
I would say that is the most important piece. So,
the
like, if you were
copy
like, if the listener is listening and you're like, "Wait, what? Fonts matter?" Yes, kind of, but write good copy and it'll,
and that
right a
carries
lot
it.
of wrongs. You know what
That's
I mean?
good to
Yes,
know.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
all that being said, I enjoyed making web pages because I liked making them pretty, and I'm now in a season where I'm like, "Yeah, it's fun." Also, I don't love it as much as I used to just because 'cause I've got so many other things I'd rather be doing.
Yeah.
So,
Mhm.
I'm making it and I'm choosing to just, like, let it be B plus, even though I know I could make
Yeah.
it prettier because I'm like, I have heard you say that enough times that it's finally drummed itself into my brain. I'm just like,
Good.
done is
That's
better than
why I say
perfect.
it all the time.
I
Yep.
just need a web page that people can go to and land for the purpose of seeing this is, like, what I do and this is what I'm capable of, and
Right.
please hire me so that I can afford to go back to theological college in the autumn. I'm not gonna
Do you
say that
want
on a
me to get
webpage,
you a
but
testimonial that's specific to brand photography too?
sorry, say that again?
Can I get you a I'm just going to send you a testimonial that's, like, specific to brand photography, and then you can
You
use, like, buy my
absolutely you
photos.
absolutely can do that. That would be wonderful. Thank you
I
for
have your
asking.
permission.
Yes, you have my permission to help me with my business.
Yeah, so I'll do
Thank
that,
you
I'll do
very
that.
much.
You're welcome, yeah.
That would be great. Well, and I'm not gonna lie, yours feature the most on this page that I'm building. Yours and Kristen's
I was gonna
feature
say
the
make Kristen's too because I have a feeling Kristen is gonna be more along the clientele that you're working with,
yeah.
more so than, like,
It's
my archetype.
mainly just because I wanted to show people, like, the
The
the range that I can do.
Mhm.
Like, I can
You
do
know
more of
what
that
too, though,
corporate
is
studio and
incorporating some of the wedding photos too that feel because like, you have, like in a lot of your wedding photos, you are really good at, all of the details and all the flat lays and stuff. So if somebody
mhm,
wanted those types of style things, it would be good to showcase some of those
that's a
too.
good idea. Yeah, that's a
And
really
you
good
could even
idea.
say like, "Hey, these are weddings." Like, there would be a way to make that copy sing better than what I'm about to say, but, like, yes, I get that these are from weddings, but we can easily apply this to your,
Mhm.
your brand.
Yeah, I'm hopeful. It's funny because the day I started working on the webpage on Friday night last week, and I got a phone call on Saturday morning from a friend of mine who asked me if I could jump in at the 11th hour to photograph a ordination ceremony at my local cathedral. I'm kind of always like on the list of tradespeople for this cathedral when they need somebody last minute, but I haven't taken a job from them in like 5 years because they haven't needed me, and then I just got this call. I literally woke up to the phone call saying, "Could you, like, come to the cathedral in 6 hours? We have an ordination ceremony and our photographer's sick." And I was like,
Oh,
"Yeah, sure."
that's awesome.
Absolutely. So it was just kinda cool because I'm like, I'm working on this photography page, and I haven't done any photography really in, like, over a year, and then the very next day, I was like, I'm back in the game, and it felt really
Yeah,
nice
it's cool
to have
how
my
God does
camera.
that kind of stuff of being like, no, this is
Yeah.
a good choice. Even if it's not a forever choice. Like, that's kind of the nice thing about something, having a skill like that in your back pocket
Yeah.
is because there's like a clean start and end to that service, you can kind of ship it off and be done with it for a while and bring it back out when it's necessary.
Yeah,
What I
and
was
I'm
going to
really
say
happy about that.
before the conversation gets too far away, when you're building out your website, don't forget you can use like the saved sections. Do you
What do you
remember
mean?
that? In Squarespace, when you click on the like thing to add a new section, I saved a ton of the sections of your website so you don't have to redesign the whole thing. It just pops it in and then you just swip out the photos and the copy
Oh,
and tinker
yes.
with it as necessary. That way
Yep,
you don't have to redesign from scratch. It's actually even better too from a strategy perspective because it pulls the through line of the same major design, the
yep.
elements throughout your whole.
No,
And
that's
if for whatever reason they're not in your saved sections, you can just go back to other pages that you like, click the little heart button on Squarespace to save that section, and
yep.
then go back to the other page that you're working on.
Nope, that's really helpful, thank you.
You're
Oh,
welcome. Yeah.
you're good.
Yeah.
Okay, so I know that we're, like, 45 minutes in because this is how we roll, but, I have a mystery phrase.
Same.
Okay, you go first.
um, skip you back to me.
That's the phrase or that was the command? Like, your
That's the
command?
phrase. But I
That's
guess also command. It's
skip
multifunctional.
you back to me. I mean, we use the phrase "back to me" all the time and have done for many years. Are you skipping me? Do you not care about me anymore? Did you stop loving
That's
me?
it. You got it. I'm done. I
Yep.
quit. Our
Alright,
friendship's
well,
over. The podcast's over. I break up with you.
what a way to do it, man.
No, that's not it.
I don't
Okay,
normally I can
you're not
guess.
gonna get it.
Okay, go on, tell me.
I taught Max how to play Uno when we were all sick, and so we were all sick. That's the update. We've been sick for 1,000 years. It's the sickness from hell because it comes on really sudden and fast, and then you are puking, but most of the time you're just dry heaving. Like, it's just my abs are
Oh.
still sore from the dry heaving, and my throat hurts from the dry heaving. And then it's like a lot of chills. It's like while you're puking, you're so sweaty, like drenched in sweat, like
Oh.
just so much sweat. And then after you're done, it's like immediately freezing, like rigid, freezing winter cold, back and forth all day long. It's just miserable. And then the worst
Your
bit of it,
gag reflex too. You've got such a bad gag reflex, so that'll make it
and it's
worse.
been activated again. For the last 4 days, I've been gagging at everything. I was unloading the dishes, and the sound of the plates pulling out, even just thinking about it, I have to, like, hold it back. I can't stop
Oh
gagging
my
over every
goodness.
little thing. If I make a certain, like, sound, I can feel myself gag. It smells. It's bad. It's
Oh.
so bad. But anyways, the worst bit of this sickness is, and I assume it's flu, COVID, question mark. I don't know. It doesn't really matter at the end of the day. It sucks. Like, I'm just so ready to be done. We kind
Yeah.
of are on the coming up end of it. Everybody's in their functions. We're just kind of all fatigued from not, like, eating for days, or drinking, and we're just tired. But the thing about this one that's been so miserable is it'll be like 2 or 3 days of awful. And then you feel better on the third or fourth day. And then we think, oh, fifth day, we're fine. So we go up to our regular thing, and then you puke again. Every single one of us has done that. All 4 of us that have gotten it. Brian has somehow escaped it. Pray to the Lord Jesus that continues, because it's just been miserable. Like, but anyways, in the height of all this, all of our kids have missed out on some important fun thing because it's summer. Like, there's like fun
Yeah.
summer things. When Max got it, the girls, we had a big Wild Waves trip, which is like our a big water park, a big outdoor water park, like a huge thing. And this is their last summer. They're closing down because, like, an outdoor water park in the Pacific Northwest is a little crazy. I don't know.
You
I'm
just have
honestly
to go out
surprised it stayed open this long.
you just have to go outside in the Pacific Northwest, and it's a water park.
I know. There's like 3 months, maybe 2 months, that you can actually go and enjoy it and not feel miserable the whole
Yeah.
time. And when they ended up going, it was raining in June. So,
Yeah.
but
Yep.
Max didn't get to go. He was so bummed because we went with our friends. Well, he and I didn't go. We stayed at home and puked. But I taught him how to play Uno. And it's like the perfect game for a 5-year-old because there's no reading involved. It's all symbols and colors and numbers. So it's like perfect for him. So we were playing. The first time we played, all of our cards facing up so that he could see the strategy of, like, the order you play cards in. You know what I'm saying? To teach him. The second time, we had cards like abreast, but if he had questions, we would lay them down. I would show him the move, and then we would put our cards back up so he could do it. And I won those first 2 times, obviously. But then the second and the third and the fourth time, I actually played my best, and he played his best, and he actually won both of those times. Like,
Wow, Max.
totally beat me. And I was really proud of him. The next day, I was like, "Hey, Max, did you want to play Uno again with me?" And he was like, "Yeah." So I'm dealing the cards out, and he's getting it all ready, and he's shuffling and things. And then I was like, "Who should start first, me or you?" And he goes, "Well, I think you should start first because I'm gooder at Uno than you." And I was like, "Oh." And he was like,
Whoa!
"Well," and I could see him try and backtrack it. And he goes, "Well, you did teach me how to play Uno, and you were good at teaching me how to play Uno. But then once you taught me, I beat you 2 times." So I was like, "Okay." Wow.
Wow,
I guess
Max.
that just happened. I was laughing so hard about it. The confidence was unmatched that he's gooder at me at Uno. I just can't even. I'm still laughing about it.
I've
It's
just
so
found the
funny.
title for this week's episode. Um, Gooder than you.
Gooder than you.
I'm
Yeah,
gooder
that's
than
it.
you. Yep,
I'll
there
write
we
it down.
go. I'm gooder than you.
It's
That's
so
so
funny.
funny.
I've been laughing about it, like, just for so long. But anyways, yeah.
He's so fun. It's the things that Max comes up with. I don't know. I
Yes.
feel like that age is really fun as well.
Yeah.
But like when
Mhm.
he was like, "Mom, could you help me get dressed?" Oh, wait, no, I'm 5.
Five.
I don't need your help.
Oh, yeah.
I'm
He
saying,
just walks
like,
away.
obviously. He's just such a funny kid, man. Oh, I love
Yeah,
it.
he's so
That's so
yeah.
good.
Okay, what's yours?
Uh, Magical Summer Forest.
Mm.
Mhm. I got my fern perfume.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
I put it on my list of things to ask you about.
So,
Do you
okay,
love it?
I actually I story time.
Yes,
So,
obviously.
I I have saved it to unbox on the podcast.
Did you actually? Oh my
I've
goodness.
but only kind of because I did want to smell the sampler to make sure that I didn't hate it and need to send it back. So, I've been using the sampler for a couple days because in all honesty, on the first day, I was like, "Oh, I'm really not sure about this scent." Um, and it was like the top notes when you first spray it on, I was like, "This is stunning. I love this smell." And then as it settled, it felt like it got almost like kind of musty or something, and I didn't like it. And what I realized quite truly, and this has made all the difference, is I was spraying it on too close to my skin. Like
Oh, so it's just too concentrated.
it was way too concentrated, and that was the problem. And as soon as I would like spray it from a distance, or like if I was spraying it on my body, I would spray it and like walk through it. I'm like, oh no, I'm actually getting all the notes because there's not one note that's overpowering all the others. And then I really liked it. So I've been like on the fence for a couple of days using the sampler bottle to make sure I'm actually going to use it before keeping it. I've decided I like it. I actually get excited to put it on now, but I haven't opened any of the other bits.
Oh my
So like
goodness.
I have it here if you would like to join me for like a proper
Can
unboxing
we
cuz
share a
everything.
video of it too on the social media when this episode goes live?
Yes, absolutely.
Yay. Okay,
Why
I'm
do you
putting
think
that in
I
the
actually
notes.
did my hair and like put on dress today? Because for the listener's benefit, normally I would say both of us look like we're just chilling. It's like we don't have our hair done or anything like that, and that's totally fine. But I actually wanted to like do my hair a little bit nicely. Also, I went out with Chris this afternoon for a nice lunch, so there was other reasons why I did my hair. But yes, okay. So when I open it, and you've got this like cute little certificate that's on the
Adorable. I love the design and the layout. Print layout
I
is has forever been my obsession, and seeing it make a comeback for like quality print layout
yeah.
be still my heart.
So on it, you've got like it's like this little card, which honestly I'm gonna like keep because it gives you it's almost like a Pokemon card for your fragrance. It gives you like
Adorable.
all the stats. That's probably not the most magical way of branding it. Sorry, Fern. But so you've got the season, the name of the season, the barrel aging days. So how many like days it was, I don't know, aged, which is interesting.
Yeah, I mean
Um,
that is how fragrances are often made.
yeah. See, I don't know a lot about how fragrances are made. I assume you learn about a lot of this from when you were making candles? Yeah,
I
that makes
know
sense.
a lot.
That does not surprise me at all.
I
But yeah,
actually got to interview when I on the Grow Well podcast. I think it's still live. A perfumer who used to I think she had to close her business, but who made natural perfumes.
you should, if you can find that episode, you should link it in the show notes because
I
I
can,
would.
yeah. What a flashback. I bet it's rough, but it was a
That's
fun
okay.
conversation.
I really enjoyed when you had the Grow Well, and do you know what I
It was such a
realized?
good
I
podcast.
totally forgot. Um, that I was on the Grow Well podcast. I
Yeah.
forgot this. That was my first ever podcast that I was ever on.
You were a podcast virgin?
I was a podcast virgin. You broke my podcast, Jerry.
That should be the title.
That should be the title. Oh man. We're gonna lose some listeners. This is
Well,
why
who
I
came in
think
gooder than you? I
this
really pushed it with Bite the Weenie, and it's okay.
yeah.
Well
I
done.
think it's misleading that our podcast is listed as explicit on like listening platforms because we're not actually, but
No.
also when we eventually when we get the grumpy listener who gets in touch and says that we're inappropriate, we can at least be like, well, we put that it was explicit.
You agreed to this, my friend.
You broke my podcast cherry. Yep,
Okay,
there we
show me
go.
the perfume.
Anyway, okay, so it's got the aging environment. So it was aged in Somerset at 20 degrees Celsius. The bottling date, so it was bottled on the 2nd of March, 2026. This already feels like such an experience because you're holding something that was only bottled like 3 months ago. So it just makes it feel like fresh and lovely. I just love it. The ingredients, top, mid, and base. The Fern artist, so it's like the artist for the piece of artwork that's like actually in the box. Um, Her name is Lori Kaplowitz. And
Ooh,
then
that's
you've
pretty.
got on the side, like the list of all the ingredients and where they are from. So like the clementine rind is from I may be mispronouncing this, but Corsica, France. The white grapefruit rind is from Florida. The green mandarin rind is from Italy. The petitgrain is from Paraguay. Bergamont's from Italy. And it just does that with like all the different notes, like all the way down. It shows you like
That's so
where
pretty. Yeah,
it's
uh-huh.
so pretty. And it's got like a little stamp on it and it's super cute. And then you've got these like cute little goodies here. So I've got a ticket to the Fern Cinematic Experience, and it's the Green Knight Admit One digital premiere, and it's got a little code on it.
Cute.
And basically, you scan it, and I haven't watched it yet, but it's like this whole perfume brand is an immersive experience. So they have a podcast, they have little films for each season. Like the marketing doesn't stop once you buy their product, which is honestly so smart because I'm like, oh, I want this every season. I want this little goodie box every season. It's super expensive. I'm not going to be able to afford it every season, but it makes you want that like seasonal little treat to yourself. So
Uh-huh.
I've got this little, ticket to the Fern Cinema. And then I haven't opened this. And if I'm being totally honest, this was part of what sold me to actually get this particular season was that the branding was like a female knight. It was giving like Joan of Arc vibes with like a sword.
Okay. Mhm.
And that's so on brand for me. And when I saw the little artwork, so I'm gonna open it. It's got a cute little burn sticker. Okay,
Cute.
let's see. I don't know why I'm like nervous because it's been sitting on my counter for I don't know, 6 days, and I've been
I
waiting
can't
to
believe you
open it.
waited that long. There's no way I would have waited.
Because I got to enjoy the scent.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you had
Yeah. Okay.
a
Oh,
little
it's not a sticker,
appetizer.
but oh my gosh, it's cute though. Like, I would actually use this as, like, decor on the, like, little bit of wall above my desk. Okay, so it's like a paper doll.
Wait, I
That's
want to
so cute.
see.
Sorry.
Forgive you. Oh my gosh, that's cute. The little axe moves.
So and then you turn it over and it's the Green Knight.
That's
How
so
cute is
cool.
that?
Iris is super into making paper dolls, and the girl is good at it.
I believe it.
Yeah.
I believe it. And then you've got I'm not entirely sure yet how to use this bit. I think it's supposed to sit in it, but you've got like a little rock that she sits on and it
Oh,
says
cool.
Burn Summer 26.
But yeah, it looks like there's a little
Yeah, a tiny little thing that it slots into and so then it
I
would
think what you mean to say is
dip, a tiny little dip. Yeah. Yes. Okay. And then this
Asterisk.
bit is the bit of artwork that comes with each bottle. Hang on.
I thought that was the artwork.
No, that's just like, I don't know. Maybe it's made by the artist as well, but it's just like a cute little extra. And then you get this little
That's beautiful.
and it comes with, like, a little story and then oh,
It
Dusty,
opens to be big. Oh my
look at
lord,
that.
that's beautiful.
Isn't that pretty?
You have to frame that.
I am going to. I actually will frame this. This is stunning.
I wonder if you could, like, iron out some of those folds.
Yeah, yeah, I'm wondering that as well. I'll Google it because I
Though it
don't wanna
will look
damage it.
cool with a little fold to have the little bit of the texture in the frame, I think.
Yeah. But, I mean, the folds are just so pronounced. But then also, I might be able to just, like, lay it flat between a couple really big books for a couple of weeks to let it
Yeah.
kind of flatten out that way.
Yeah.
But, I mean,
Yeah,
that
my
is
thinking is if you
really
put
pretty.
fabric on top of it and underneath it
Mm,
and then ironed it, I bet it would iron. But
on,
you
like,
should
a
check
row of
first
edges?
because yes, yeah.
Okay, so now,
That's so pretty.
shall I read it to you? It's got like a little, I think, kind of story, like brand story
Yeah.
on the back. Okay, hang on,
Yeah,
let me
do
move this. Okay. I wish I had a better mic for like ASMR,
it.
you know?
You need like the clackety nails.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I need to go full on influencer. Oh my gosh. Okay, so come, traveler, this summer adventure awaits you in a land of myth and legend. Here the world sparkles with light so vivid it seems ground from precious jewels, and the scent of sun-warmed roses drifts on the air, a twist of green at its heart. For summer 26, we have designed a heady citrus floral fragrance which opens with a mouth-watering burst. A new addition to Fern's palette, our Corsican clementine is dewy and glittering, singing of ripe summer days. A cross between sweet orange and willow leaf mandarin, this beautiful note gentles the sharper, tangy profiles of green mandarin and white grapefruit. Leaving these vermilion fruits, we travel through woods to a green space mantled with silken blossoms threaded with green tendrils. Could this be the green chapel of Arthurian tales? This is so cute. This,
Mm.
like, as a copywriter, I'm so excited right now because this is literally like taking you through the
What you
story of
need
a
to do,
scent.
if you took that little text and had it in like a little mini print and framed it and then had the big photo. I know it's on the back of the print, so you would
Yeah.
have to like type it out or scan it or something. But that would be so cute if you had the little like, you know, copy next to the photo and they're both framed next to each other. That'd be so cute.
This just, it keeps going. It's like, it's literally taking you like through a place
Mhm.
through it's invoking all the senses. I just love this. Rambling between branches and over the crumbling stones of an old ruin, we discover the heart of our fragrance, a peach-colored flower, pale and open. For this romantic bloom, we blended 2 roses with our clementine. We chose essential oil of damask, deep and jammy for its intensity, and light powdery absolute of that is light powdery absolute of the 100-petaled rose, rose de mai, to add a touch of delicacy, a marriage of equals. Amid the flowers, peering into their delicate shadows, twines a joyful green vine, a curly-cued sweet pea wending its way up through stony ruins to reach the sun. A sweet pea has no fragrant oil of its own. Here we wove aromatic basil and galbanum, petitgrain, and blackcurrant bud. The result is fresh and verdant as if these shoots have just let drip their drink of dew, refreshing our roses with summer's growth. Even that, oh my gosh, that is so pleasant to say, just let drip their drink of dew. My writer's heart is just ecstatic right now because this is so not written by AI. And it's so lovely and poetic. Um, gives a little thing here about the artist as well. Our fern artist for 2026 is Lori Kaplowitz, or it might be Kaplowitz. I'm not sure. My mom's maiden name's spelled that way and it's pronounced differently. Based in Boston, she places human figures amid nature to explore themes of existence and adornment. Lori's painting for summer 26 is called Floret. Gesturing to pre-Raphaelite paintings, the profile of a female green knight emerges from painted roses and climbing vines and layers of foraged and pressed flowers. And then there's a whole thing about the ingredients, about the release schedule for their other scents this year. And then their little note on sustainability and also a little note about the diffusion stone, which I haven't opened yet, but it talks a little bit about the story of the diffusion stone as well. So you've got like all of that on the back,
Yeah, that's so
which is
beautiful.
so cute. And then the last bit is the diffusion stone, which is the one bit that I have seen. So it comes in this cute little box, and you've basically got your sample, and then you've got this is actually really cute. It's the diffusion stone's like this engraved, I don't know if it's a bit of terracotta, woman holding a
Probably
sword.
is, yeah. Or clay.
How
That's
cute is
beautiful,
that?
yeah.
And so you can spray on that. And then there's a little bag of summer tea, chamomile
Cute.
tea, and then a thing about like, how to use the diffusion stone and, like, how to discern the different notes. So it's, like, really inviting you to fully experience the fragrance. Anyway, and then obviously the bottle itself, which I haven't this is the bit I
Want to
really
see that?
haven't
That's
looked
what
at.
I'm so excited
Okay.
about.
Okay, I'm sorry. You're probably like, "Okay, Christina, this copy's cute, but open the bottle."
Well,
Okay.
I want to see it all, but
Yeah. All right, let's see. To
take your
keep
time,
per
please.
to keep perfume right, okay. Doing this. The little sticker is a bit, like, difficult. Here we
Key.
go. Okay. Right. You ready?
Ready.
Okay.
The box is so pretty.
Wow, that was anticlimactic. I just dropped it. Hang on, hang on. Okay, there we go, there we go. There it is.
That's so pretty.
It's really
I
pretty.
love that kind of craft tubes. I just
Yeah.
think that they look so it's like a really beautiful mix of like refined but earthy, and I love them.
Yes.
I love the way they
Yep.
look.
It feels like you've picked it up from, like, a summer's market in France or something.
Yes, yeah, yeah. Uh-huh.
So it's got all the ingredients on
Beautiful.
here, organic Italian grain, and it says, like, summer 2026 on it, and then oh, and, like, it says Fern on there. The packaging is just beautiful.
Pretty.
There she
Oh
is.
my gosh, that's stunning.
Isn't that beautiful?
Yeah.
Now, I'll tell you one thing I'm confused about.
Well, there's not a lid.
Yeah, there's not a lid.
Just put it back in its tube.
I guess so. Which, okay, if they're trying to be more sustainable, that makes sense because most
I
lids I think would
suppose.
be plastic and the bottle's glass.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that that's why. That's the only thing I'm kind of surprised about, but there it is.
That's beautiful.
Isn't
I
it
will
pretty?
say I tend to lose the lids anyways.
That's true. Yeah, so do I. And I don't
That's so pretty.
do I oh, can I fit it back in? Oh, I'm confused now.
To like
Did it
vacuum.
close? There we go, there we go. So I could technically leave it in this and
Oh
just
yeah, just
spray
use
it
the lid.
and just use the lid like that. Um, but
That's
yeah.
so pretty though.
So
I'm glad you like the fragrance. That's really wonderful.
I was unsure at first, and then I realized
Mhm.
people had told me in the past, like, I have friends who've worked in fragrance and have told me, like, it really does matter how you apply it,
Yes.
and I
Mhm.
didn't listen to them. And then I realized, oh, maybe,
Oh.
maybe Christina should listen to people who know what
Mhm.
they're talking about. So it makes a big difference to the scent. It's not so overpowering. Um, but yeah, and do you know what else I really like? It's not a super big bottle because what I find is that I tend to not use a fragrance quickly enough and then the scent goes off. Like I just can't get through a whole bottle quickly enough.
Yeah.
Whereas this, I will actually use up, I think.
I heard somebody say they have a night perfume that they spray at night just for themselves before bed. And I was like, I want a night perfume. That's
That's
darling.
bougie. That's so
I know.
cute.
What a little way to treat yourself.
I love it. I love that.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
so fun. Yay.
And
Thank you for sharing
and
that. So cool.
it's also like I know that these rank really, really well on my Yuka app, so I'm not gonna feel bad spraying these on my skin, and that also makes me happy. So thanks for
Yay.
opening the box with me. I needed
So
someone who would be
exciting.
excited. I needed someone who would be excited because Chris was not gonna be this excited about it. Just was not. So, but do you know what I need to do now? And I don't think I can get the ASMR with this, but like I need to spray some.
Yeah, of
Obviously.
course.
Yeah.
Next
Hang
step,
on.
obvious.
Right. From a distance. Hang on.
From a distance. I love the.
Oh, it smells genuinely, it smells like the story they've written for it. It really, really does.
Well, and you know what's cool? Is like your brain is always going to pull that to mind.
Yes.
I could go on and on about why this, I mean, maybe I should in another day, but like why that kind of world building matters so much. Like if you look at like Disney the way that they release movies now too, like on Disney Plus, there's always like a behind the scenes is like their main trailer is because they bring you into the world, they show you everything that's involved in it and what it took to make this come to life. And it creates so much emotional buy-in. Um Anyways, it's cool. It's so cool.
It genuinely feels like by wearing the fragrance, I'm being walked through, like, this magical forest where I'm finding each ingredient as I walk along, like,
Yeah, yes.
just
Uh-huh.
brilliant,
You're
and
part of something much bigger.
I'm totally the target audience because I just want something that makes me feel like I'm walking through an enchanted forest, obviously, but yeah, so there we go. But I especially love this,
Yeah, that's beautiful. That's
isn't it?
really, really stunning.
I love it.
I
I
love the
am
colors, the, like,
100%.
pastels. It's so soft.
I'm going to frame this. In
I think
fact,
what's I love about that photo is that the colors are soft and the imagery is soft, but it still presents as very confident and strong.
yes. Yeah, I was just gonna say
It's
too,
a beautiful dance between the 2.
this is the kinda image that I could actually see myself using as, like, design inspiration for a room in terms of, like, the color palette.
Yeah,
Um,
mhm.
yeah, I just oh, I
That's
love
so
it.
pretty.
I love it so
That's
much. That is
beautiful.
being framed for sure. Aw,
That's
and that
really
just feels
exciting.
like an extra little gift, right? Like, you're getting to enjoy something for a long, long time if you're framing it and putting it on your wall.
Mhm.
It's lovely.
Yeah,
Anyway,
that's so exciting. Guess what? Today, I get to go get my hair back to how I wanted it, and I'm so excited.
tell
I'm
me.
so excited. When I got my hair colored, which I don't do often. I've done less than 5 times maybe in my entire life, and cuz I like my natural hair color. Like it's normally like a reddish darker brown and I really like it. I should say like a warm brown is what I should say because it's not red, but it has like warm undertones. And I really love it so very much. But I love it when my hair is really dark. Brian doesn't like it when it's like really dark as much as I do, but I've never done it like low lights. So what I want to do is low lights. So what I got is highlights. So I have like blonde bits in my hair, which looks fine objectively. Like she did a great job. It's just like not like there was a miscommunication
I
there.
remember we talked about this when you first had it done. We talked about this on
Yeah,
the
and I
podcast, and
haven't complained about it really publicly except here,
no,
and
that's okay.
I mentioned it to Brian after our trip because it was, like, part of the, like, wedding anniversary thing is that I got to go get my hair done, and so I didn't want him to feel like, Dusty's upset about her hair again, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, I felt really discouraged, but
sorry.
I found somebody on Instagram I found a few people, and I was messaging them, and I found somebody who specializes in lowlights and specifically in, like, working with brunettes. And
Nice.
she was really sweet, and I'm just praying that this is a good experience because I think it will be. She like asked me for photos of what my hair looks now, what it looked like before, what I wanted it to look like, and like asked me a lot of clarifying questions just in her DMs, and it made me feel a lot more confident that she, like, knows what I'm going after.
Yeah.
Because I thought, like, "Man, maybe I just really miscommunicated and it was on me." And, like, I'm happy to take that accountability if I was the one that just didn't know the terms or, like, I
Sure.
wasn't clear. And sometimes I lose the thread of the plot or, like, I'm too complacent in the moment. Like, I have really strong opinions before and then I get to the spot and I'm not always very good at, like, advocating for it. "No, that's not what I meant." And so I thought, "Oh, maybe I did that again." And I said the exact same terminology I used to the first stylist who, like, colored my hair to this woman, and she's like, "No, no, 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 you used it right. There was just something got lost in translation there. That's the right term." And so that felt a little validating, and I was like, "Okay, yeah.
Good.
I do just want a low light. I don't want blonding." I'm very excited. All of the bits that are, like, light will just be dark, basically. And I'm really excited because I don't it feels like, which I actually did have for a while, like Christina Perri. You remember, like, Christina Perri had the, like, blonde in the front?
I don't know who that
I
is.
rocked that style for you do if you heard the song, like Jar of Hearts
I'm
or,
Googling her. Christina
if you
Perry.
heard one of her songs, you would know because it's, like, the millennial it's
I've just seen Jar of Hearts come up. I'm gonna look
yeah,
up the
that's, like, the
lyrics.
one that she's most popularly
Jar of
known for.
Hearts.
There's another one if you don't know her, you would like her. Her music really beautiful and, like, poetic and, like, um yeah, it's beautiful, and I really was obsessed with her, and I colored my hair like her. Anyways, the way that it's colored now, though, with the, like, bang pieces all blonde makes you think of Christina Perri's hair, how it was in, like, 2010 or something, but which isn't a bad look, but just not what I was wanting.
I know who this is. I literally could start hearing the song in my head as I got to reading the chorus as you were talking.
Yes,
Sorry.
yeah.
You
You know,
carry on.
exactly, yeah. I was gonna start singing it, and then I thought, that might be distracting. Um, but, yeah, so I'm excited to have it just my hair.
And you're doing that today?
Yeah, at 2.
Remind me what time it is in your
Right
land?
now, it's 11 AM.
11 a.m. Okay. Oh, send pictures.
I will. I'm
I'm
very
excited.
excited
I hope it's
and
everything you dreamed
nervous.
it would be.
Yeah, me too. The other thing I'm excited is, like, I don't like the stage of, like, grow out of my bangs are, and I feel like when they get, because I don't really like curtain bangs, but, like, I just have to go through this horrible in between. Because this is like me really trying to tame down my cowlicks. If I don't tame them down, it's like the McDonald's M situation, and I really hate it.
To be
But with
fair,
the
I have
blonde,
seen
it just
that on
really
you.
brings, it's like draws your attention to that shape all the more, which isn't a bad shape. It's just not a shape I want. Do you know what I'm saying?
I completely know what you're saying.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm just so excited to have my hair back
I
to
think
my
you
color.
look great, but it doesn't matter if it's not what you wanted. Like,
Exactly. That's
yeah,
exactly it. I know that objectively it looks fine, which is why I would have scheduled something sooner if it was something I felt really uncomfortable with or I felt was bad, and it's not those things. It's just not what I wanted.
I had a haircut a year and a half ago, and I hadn't had my haircut in years at a professional stylist because my mom would just do it for me whenever she would come out to
Yeah.
visit. And she does a great job, and that's why I'm like, I didn't feel the need. But it was, I don't know if it was during COVID. No, it wouldn't have been if it was only 2 years ago. For whatever reason, I hadn't had my hair cut by my mom. So I finally got my hair done. And I went to a stylist, and that was like a big deal, and it was a big treat for me. And I had a very specific cut that I wanted, and it wasn't super complicated. And I showed her pictures, and she
Oh,
just
I remember this, and it was
yeah,
not.
it was
Yeah, I
not what I
remember.
wanted. It was absolutely fine. There was nothing wrong with it,
Yeah,
but it was
just it
like,
wasn't.
I
Yeah.
didn't pay for this. I didn't put myself through going to a stylist when I already part of it's luxurious, part of it for me is a little stressful. I've always just found
Yeah.
going to the stylist a little bit stressful. So I was like,
That's how I feel
the
about going to get my nails done because I have to sit still for so long. I don't have access to my hands. I'm like trapped in a place. It stresses me out to no end.
have you ever tried doing your own, like, with
Yeah,
gels?
I do my own at home all the time.
Not the press-ons though, but, like, with proper gels that last about well, how long do your press-ons last, to be fair?
2 to 3 weeks.
Never mind then. So I do gels that last about 3 weeks. My press-ons, when I've done press-ons, it's lasted me maybe a week if I'm
Sometimes they
lucky.
last longer, like a month, but I find if they last a month, you start to get like fungus under your nail. Like my nail
That's
starts to turn green.
that's really weird.
Yep. Yeah, it's not great. So
No,
there's a reason why they shouldn't last longer than because like I have a little bit. It doesn't hurt, but it's just like a little bit of green in my nail.
that's grim. Yeah, I've never had
Yeah,
that.
I freaked me out when I first took it off. I was like, I'm dying.
You've
What's
got, like
happening to me?
you're rotting. I
Yeah.
just realized something. Oh my gosh. This is the girliest episode we have ever done. We started talking
Can
about
that be the
makeup.
title? Girls are gooder.
Girls are gooder, sure. Um,
The gooder the girls.
the good are the girls, the popped podcast cherries. Who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna have to
Um,
workshop all of that.
but we started talking about makeup and
Yeah.
skincare, and then we moved into talking about perfume.
Well,
And
you
now
know what I'll really call it is just this one's for the girls.
seriously, it really is. And now we're talking about nails. Should we move into talking about? I know we're an hour and 20 minutes in here, but like, just rolling with it. You wanted to talk about that Substack essay about dressing well, and I
I
feel like
do, but I have a lot more things I would like to bring up with that, and I don't have a lot of
okay,
time because this is my only day for the foreseeable future where I am kidless. And I
okay, fair
really
enough.
have so much I need to get
So
done
much.
in such a small
Okay,
period of time.
I didn't know. See, I don't have as much probably to say about it as you, and I'm sitting here and I'm like, well, that just fits right in with the girly themes. But
It
if you've
would be
got a
really, yeah. I want to talk about it, and we had something that we wanted to talk about for a while about like the importance of fashion and beauty, and I think we've touched on it in the past in past episodes.
yeah,
But to
we've
my
had an
knowledge, we
episode
haven't
on it.
had one where we've really focused on it and gone deep into the theological implications of that.
We did an
Unless I'm forgetting.
episode where we talked about the importance of like honoring our bodies well with clothing, and we also talked about other things that we do to make ourselves just feel good in our bodies, including things
Yeah,
like getting a good haircut and stuff. So we have touched
yeah,
on it, but
talked on it. Yeah.
I liked the theological angle for that essay.
Yeah,
So
I
you
think she did, and I have, like yeah. I'm starting to talk about it. We'll talk about it another time.
this
I
is
I
the
have much
problem. You
I
and
could
I, when we
say. I
say
know.
we're gonna wait to start talking about something, and then we start unpacking it anyway.
I know. I really can't though, because I do wanna try and be, like, wise with my time, and
No, that makes
I
sense.
think if I started talking about it, this episode will become a 2-hour episode, and
Wow. You've got a lot to say.
I have a lot I could say about it. I've started to make notes about it. I just think it was a really well-written article, and I
It
like what she
was.
had to say.
All right. Well, there we go. Teaser for next week. We'll talk about it next week. That can be what people
We
have to tune in next week for. I
you
feel like I
have
have
to.
to give my obligatory Oxford Studies update.
Yes, please.
It's just become a thing. So, I'm now working on my church history essays. I think I've mentioned
Perfect.
that. I love it.
Mhm.
I'll tell you something. As I've been reading, I don't know if this is a good strategy or not. I've just prayed and asked the Lord to like pull me back if I'm ever getting a little too carried away with this. But I've just decided that because I'm in a season where I can't write a lot of Substack essays, which was like one of my primary like areas of how my platform was growing and I've been gaining more readers and blah blah blah. And I can't do that right now. So as I'm working on my Oxford essays and I'm doing a lot of church history reading, my brain is just like firing off little note sized sound bites of all these different thoughts that have been running through my head. And I'm like, I'm just going to use this as content for, for notes on Substack and schedule
Totally
them.
should.
So
Yeah,
I've got like well over a week's worth of notes scheduled.
that's
And
awesome.
right now, that's where Substack's really leaning into, anyways, for people to grow through notes. You have something to
I
say.
have something. I'm so sorry, but I can be patient.
Okay, I'm almost done. So, but keep that thought. So, I have just been scheduling out a ton of notes, and I have asked the Lord to just like, if there's ever a thought where I'm just being too impulsive and it's not actually fully formed and it's not edifying, to not share it. But most of it is just like cool educational epiphany stuff that I'm learning as I'm studying the church
Yeah,
fathers that I'm
that's so cool.
excited to share, and they're all doing really, really well, which is cool. Like,
That's
it's
great.
so fun to be on a platform where people get excited about this stuff with you, and it's helping grow my Substack again. Just, like, by virtue
That's
of me
great.
sharing the random thoughts I'm having already, it's the first time that
Mhm.
I've seen an upward tick on, like, the line graph from my subscriber count again, which is cool.
Yeah, that's
Um,
really cool. Yeah,
so yeah, that was it. I'm
that's
enjoying
so exciting.
reading, and I'm learning a lot, and I'm having lots of fun thoughts. But
Yay.
what was your thought? Did you hold it?
I did, yes.
Good.
I what I was gonna say is, you know how like I really want to love Substack, but it stresses me out. Like
Yes.
the platform feels so overwhelming to me. And I'm in a program right now by Xanthi Appleyard, and it's like a content creation kind of a program. It's more than content creation. I don't know the right word for it. It's really more about like the strategic side of it and creating good systems to follow through on that, and about creative leadership. Anyways, I'm really enjoying it. But she articulated my stress because I was trying to explain to her, like, this is a platform where I know my people are, and I want to show up in there, and I like the idea of it. But in practice, I feel so overwhelmed being there. And I'm
Mm,
so glad I talked it through with her, because I feel like everything that she shared with me was so encouraging and helpful. But she summed up so well why it stresses me out, which is to say that it is a long form platform delivered in a short form media. And the dichotomy of those two things stresses me out, because it's a platform where it feels fast paced because of things like notes apps and videos, and now they have the little story bubble thingies up at the top. There's just more visual things to grab your attention, like a casino or something. I heard somebody refer to Instagram like a casino, and I was like, oh
yeah.
my gosh, that's exactly what it's like.
Yep.
And Substack is really starting to kind of mimic that, even in the same way, but with long form content. So it's not just like I can pop over for a quick sec and see what's happening. And so she was like, I wonder if you could start thinking about it less like a social media platform and more like a membership platform. Think about it more like Circle, like, like the membership platform Circle,
Mhm.
where you're coming in, you're sharing your content or your essay or whatever it is you're sharing there, you're scheduling out notes, you're engaging with your people, and then you clock out and you come back in a couple days or something.
That's
And
exactly how I treat it, Dusty.
I was like, that it really unlocked in my brain. I was like,
Yep.
oh, and I've said this before, like, it's probably good for me to have a platform in my like bank of platforms, where like I don't feel like like an addiction to it, or like a what's the word? Like a temptation to have an addiction for it, you know? So it is good to have a platform I don't want to be on it all the time in my bank, but it becomes so stressful to me so fast. Um, and I also think I'm gonna go through and unsubscribe from a bunch of stuff because, like, I want to be thoughtful, and I really love reading long form pieces, long form content. I really enjoy. I do like creating short form content. Like, I'm good at it and I enjoy it too, but having long form content is fun and I really like it. But that mindset shift, really, I was like, oh, I can do that. Like, that is, if I have like a scheduled time where like once or twice a week I'm sitting down and I'm giving it my all and I'm like pouring 2 to 3 hours into this platform and then I log out and I'm done, that sounds great. Like,
And can I say something as well? It's interesting that you would say that you correct me if I'm misunderstanding, but it sounds like you're saying you lean better into short form content. Like Instagram, you would class as like short form content. Am I correct in how I understood that?
I think I like both. I think I've been in a season of life where creating short form content is easier. And so I have better systems and practices around creating short form content.
Hmm.
And I think it's like but I like creating long form content, but I've not always either had or made the time to create long form content. Like when
So,
I can sit down and write a proper art, like piece, and I
yeah.
really or record a podcast episode, I thrive off that whole process. I love the entire thing. But the like mindset of making myself make time for it has in the past been very difficult for me.
Mhm.
So I, because of that, have gotten really good at short form content. Does that make sense?
Let me rephrase the question. That does make sense. What I mean is, do you class the stuff you do on Instagram as short form? Okay, because I experience your Instagram content as long form. You have more writing on most of
Mhm.
your Instagram stories than anyone else I follow.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah.
You actually create long form content from my perspective as an Instagram user that to me is very transferable to a Substack note. And I would class that as like because there are Substack notes that are long and
Mhm.
do really well. And there's,
Yeah.
like, stuff obviously, it's not completely always like, you couldn't
Well, and
always
maybe that's why
upload.
there's always I've interrupted you. Sorry.
Oh, it's
Carry
okay.
on.
It's not like, all of your stories wouldn't necessarily work perfectly in the form of a note because some of it is, like, it pairs with the visual of the video on the story and stuff like that, but
Mhm.
there's a lot of stuff that you've written on Instagram that I actually and this isn't a criticism, it's just my experience of how I engage with Instagram is too long for me, but I would engage with it on Substack because my head's in the headspace for that much.
Interesting. Well,
Yeah.
and that makes sense if I'm creating long form content for a short form platform and then I go over to a long form content and it's all short form content. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
dichotomy of those two things, my brain is like, ah!
Obviously, like, Instagram feels that's, like, been a platform you've really nurtured and you've worked on for longer, and it feels more natural and fun for you, and also it's
Yeah.
pretty and you're able to make it more artistic. So it makes sense to
Yeah, I
me
like all
that
those
that's been
things.
a platform where you thrived on that content, but I guess what I mean is, like, essays are, yes, objectively a different kind of long form, but I think a lot of what I would consider sound bites or, like, little bites of information for me that I use on notes are actually a lot of my notes are actually pretty darn long, and notes is I still would rather people grow more by reading my essays, but right now notes is what Substack is pushing, and it's where a lot of the growth is happening, and I would say the amount of notes that I see that are pretty long, that are about the same length as what you're sharing on Instagram, makes it feel to me like your Instagram content's actually very transferable in
Yeah,
many
that's
ways.
a really good point. That's a good point. And I need to explore that more. Thank you for sharing that because I think it's really helpful to me. Yeah.
And I
I don't know
share
why
that
I have
too.
such a block about it. There's like so much friction there. I think part of it too is like I just haven't. I've just sat in the like this isn't working of it and not given myself space to like find a solution.
Well, and the other reason I wanted to share that with you too is because I and you that your feelings here may have changed, but I remember you sharing with me a while ago. This was probably more than a year and a half ago that there had been a block for you with Substack because the I don't know if the stereotype's the right word, or it may have just been, like, a comment that I had made, I can't remember, but there was, like, this sentiment around Substack that it was for writers, and you had shared with me that you felt like that wasn't therefore a
Yeah,
place
but,
where
like, I'm
you.
writing a book now, so I feel like I have to get over that.
Yeah, yeah, you do.
You know what I'm saying? Like
I wanna go one level deeper than that though because, yes, obviously, like, you're gonna be an author, so there is that aspect, so yes, get over it, you are a writer, but
I
it's
just
like
kind of have to put my big girl pants on at
one
this
level
point.
deeper than that is, like, what does writer mean to you? I'm wondering if, like, does that mean long form content, and in your head, you were thinking that you weren't doing long form content when actually you've always been giving, like, pretty meaty bits of verbal and written content just on a platform that is fun
Maybe
for
not
you.
best suited for it.
So
Yeah.
I shared all of that mainly to hopefully show you, like, you're already doing a lot of the stuff that I think you're not doing because it just looks like a slightly different medium. But
Yeah.
you're already
Well,
communicating a lot of, like, hefty ideas through writing,
hmm.
and you're doing it well.
And what I will say is I have in the last, like, 6 posts or so started thinking, "Okay, I need to, like, cut not the fluff, it's I need to cut the meat of these posts because I need more top of funnel content that's, like, brings in followers," and I realized, "Oh, I'm actually only writing, like, nurture content." Like, I'm not like, if my goal right now is visibility and growth, and that needs to be what it is, um, like, I'm not writing the right kinds of content for it, and I switched and I wrote more top of funnel content that to me feels like a quarter of a post idea. Then I was like, well, we're just going to test and see. And those things are the things that I've taken off.
Mhm.
Um, and I've been stuck in like, I don't know, anywhere between 200 and 500 views, which I don't know. People really snuff at that like that's bad. And I feel fine with it. I feel like it's fine. That's 500 people that saw that. That's a lot
Yeah,
of people. Like, let's
yeah.
maybe get off our high horses and think we deserve millions of posts of views. But I will say the ones that I did these like that I felt like was a quarter of a post idea at best have gotten like 2,000 plus views. And I was like, dang, I'm really working harder than I really need to be
I
working, I
really
think.
think you are. I think so much of the ideas, and I felt like this for a while, but I didn't want it to seem like I was being critical because you like what you're doing on Instagram, and I think you do it really well. But there's been so many things you've shared on Instagram where I'm like, that's a Substack essay.
Well, and too, the thing is I'm like the my own worst enemy because I write it somewhere else, and then to get it to fit in Instagram, I have to cut most of it. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I really am just like shooting myself in the foot in multiple ways. My poor feet.
Do you know something that I started doing? There were certain times where I was having a roadblock with writing essays for Substack back in 2024 when Humphrey was sick. I wasn't doing well. I didn't have a lot going on with my business. And so the only thing that I committed to do was writing an essay once a week. That was my commitment. Every Monday was writing day, and I would publish an essay once a week. And I'm so grateful
Yeah, I
that I did
remember.
that.
Yeah, yeah.
But there
That's a
were
great idea.
definitely weeks where it was hard and I could not think of anything. But I had like what in my mind was like a quippy little like bite-sized idea that I would start writing in a note and then I it would snowball and I would
Yeah.
just keep writing and all of a sudden I'm like, "Oh, this can be an essay." But it was so much easier for me to get the idea out by writing it as if it were a note. And
Yes.
I'm
Well, and I
wondering.
do that all the time. But
Yeah.
and see, my issue isn't I don't have ideas. My issue is I have so many freaking ideas. It's like a deer in headlights.
Mhm.
Like I have so many ideas. I could never stop talking about all of my ideas, but because of that, I feel like paralyzed. I feel like I've been in this state for like 3 years of being like, I have so much to say. I have so much to say. I have so much to say, and then that's all I say. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Yeah.
I'm just so exhausted, which is part of the reason why I signed up for this program. I feel like it's already been so helpful to like unearth a
Good.
lot of stuff. The other thing I'm realizing, if I can for a second, is I'm realizing how much I need to cut the content within Grounded like a lot. Like I need to just have the what is the first module be the entire course. And then all of the other modules need to be different offerings. And then I can walk people through that first module one step at a time, and they could either do it DIY or they could do it live. Like, and I've known this in the back of my mind for so long. For so long, I've known this, but it just felt like it wasn't what I was wanting to do. And I don't know, I just didn't, didn't want to deal with it. Have you seen the stand up? I can't remember who it is. Maybe Jim Gaffigan. And they're talking about like how Irish don't feel their feelings. And he makes like a joke about how like when their son dies, he's just like, bury the boy, bury the boy. So anytime Brian and I make a joke about like having to address something we don't want to have to address, we're always like, bury the boy, bury the boy. Anyways, I feel like that applies here. I like knew I needed to cut it down, but I just have kind of like, bury the boy. Don't
Oh,
address the
okay.
feelings that go along with that because I put so much work into creating something. Um, but I need to cut it. I need to cut it and then create lots of offers, like more bite-sized offers. And so I'm actually really excited about this because I already have most of the stuff recorded for that. Like it won't take me a lot of work to rework this package and then offer the like 2.0 version to the people who've already invested in the early offering of it, offer them a highly discounted um access to like the group version of it as like a thank you so much for trusting me and investing in this earlier. I understand you paid for a different product and it's changing, but I promise you it's for your good.
Yeah.
Come with me and I'll take you shoe and show you why. Do you know what I'm saying? And then I think too, like part of me wants to like I yeah, I'm so excited. It's really going through this course and walking through this program with Xanthi has really like unlocked so much more than just content stuff for me. And I'm so grateful that I like made a good investment choice. Do you know what I'm saying? And that God has
Good.
really blessed that decision.
Yeah, no, and because I know that you have done other courses in the last sort of 3 years where you actually felt like, oh, I bought this because I had still convinced myself that I didn't know as much as I knew,
Yes.
and this was not something I needed. So I'm really glad
Yes.
that this has felt like a genuine investment in helping
Mhm.
you grow, which
Yeah,
is
I'm
great.
really grateful.
I
Yeah.
also think, when you were talking, it was making me think I don't have the headspace for this right now. I got church history to focus on, but I have been thinking about the fact that when things slow down a little bit for me, I think I need to do a much you've told me this, so don't say I told you so because you told me so, and I know
I
this.
mean, I am not following my own advice for the last several years, so I have no business saying that to you.
But
Literally
you're
none.
right. What I'm about to say, you're gonna be like, "Yes, I know." I need to do a much, much, much more pared down 7-day version of my punctuation mark course and then sell the
Mm.
21-day version as like
Yeah, I think
a
that's a great
proper course.
idea. Yes, you should.
I
Yeah.
didn't wanna do that quite truly because I feel, on, like, an emotional and a political level, I feel really strongly about making education accessible to people
Yes.
who have felt um, genuinely, like, stigmatized by their lack of understanding of punctuation. Like, there is a truly, like, I don't even know what the right word would be, like, classist almost, approach to people who don't know punctuation well. There is I have seen it in the literary world, this, like, very high and mighty judgy attitude towards people who don't know how to use punctuation well, and so for the people who wanna be writers, but have never learned for whatever reason, either because they didn't have access to a good education system or they had neurodivergence, and so they struggled in class during the years where they were being
I
taught
moved
punctuation.
grades when we started learning that. So, like, one school had already covered
Exactly.
it, and you know what I'm saying? So, like, I
Yeah.
just, like, bloop, and never caught up.
Exactly. So many people get, like, just lost through the cracks, and they feel like frauds who don't deserve to call themselves writers because of that, and I hate that. I don't want that to be a barrier for people, and I also don't want people to feel embarrassed to ask, and I don't want them to just use AI now because I think there is cognitive value
Mhm.
in knowing how to use
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I'm not shaming people who are using AI as a tool to help them sometimes, but I don't want them to just use it and thereby think, "Oh, I don't need to learn punctuation," because actually learning punctuation makes you a better writer in how you think about your words and how it works in your sentences. I think it's such an important thing to know. So I've always wanted that to be accessible to people, and I haven't wanted money to be a barrier because I also think a lot of people who don't learn these things as children very often, not all the time, but very often come from low socioeconomic backgrounds where money actually was the barrier to them being able to learn these things. So I care about that. I
Mhm.
also think that this course is so robust and so long that a lot of people don't finish it because it's free. They don't have any skin in the game and they're not
Yeah.
finishing it. And so I still want there to be an accessible way that people can pick up on some of the basics that like bolster their confidence,
And it's
but
a good
then
email list builder for you.
it's been a great email list
Yeah.
builder, and I
Mhm.
think it will be even better if it is shorter and easier for people to
Mhm.
absorb, and then
Yeah,
if they
yeah.
want to get into, like, more of the nitty-gritty details, they can buy my 21-day version that's a lot more robust.
Yeah. You know what I would love from you? And I
What?
know this is, like, not something you have the capacity for right now, but I would love the 21-day course spread out over 3 months or something where I have, like, an assignment I have to turn in.
Okay.
Because I will read the information and then boop, boop, that's gone. Like,
Yep.
I can read it really fast, but I'm not retaining any of that nonsense. Like, it's all gone. Do you know what I'm saying?
I
I
do.
want, like, low stakes assignments where I can practice my own writing skills that I'm gonna be doing anyways, and then you review it and be like, "No, this isn't right," and then explain to me why this isn't right.
That's so funny because that is
I want, like,
very
school
similar to
assignments.
that's very similar to the course that I used to teach at the university. That,
Yeah,
like,
that's what I want. I would like
homework
that, please.
homework and feedback was, like, a vital, vital piece, but
Yeah.
again, in that case, I would have to charge because ain't no way anyone doing homework first of all, I'm
No,
not
you
getting
would have to.
paid for grading people's homework if it's free, but also no one's gonna do homework for a free course. They're just not.
No, 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 no. I'm not.
I think that's a
But
really good idea.
especially if you can merge the 2 of, like, we're gonna get the, like, technical bits down, but
Mhm.
also we're gonna help you develop your book idea or help you develop your whatever, writing voice or,
Well,
because
and
then
that would
it's
be
more than just the technical aspect. Because I already have a developed idea and convictions in writing voice, and that's I want to refine that and get better at it, but I just don't think the lion's share of people are gonna sign up for tell me if I'm right about punctuation, but maybe I'm wrong, but
that's a really good point. Do you know what's interesting? When I first launched this, I got so much good feedback. So much. I've never had more feedback on any offering that I've ever done. Um, I made I'm embarrassed to put this on the podcast, but, like, I made 0 sales conversions from it. Clearly, I've done something wrong in how I've constructed those emails, so I take full responsibility for that because I've never had more opt-ins and I haven't made 1 conversion, so that's on
well, and
me.
I can help you look on the strategy in the back end. Part of it is the length,
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. It
a
is,
lot of it.
which is why I wanna make that a sold course. I also think genuinely that's gonna serve people better, to make that something
Mhm.
that's behind a paywall and to make a simpler version that's free,
Yeah. The
and
other thing is like not all offerings need to convert to sale. Like not all opt-ins and freebies need to be the vehicle for a
mm,
sale. Do you know what I'm
no,
saying? Just in the same way, like not all posts on Substack or on social media should be an explicit sales post.
mm,
It's still you're laying a brick on the foundation of like trust that allows you to do that later. So it's not all for
absolutely.
naught.
I put so so much effort into that course thinking that it would convert to sales,
Hmm.
but clearly not knowing how to make that an effective sales strategy. That being said, I just think it's gonna serve people better now that the hype has died down. Because there was
Hmm.
hype on people were tagging me left, right, and center on Substack with how
Well,
excited
and
they
you know
were.
what else too I noticed is you were talking about it nonstop.
I was. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I was.
So you were carrying that conversation and then people are piggybacking off of it, what then allows you to carry it further. And you know what I mean? That's like this beautiful cycle.
There was a lot of hype, so it was easier for me to talk about it. I was talking about it a lot anyway, and a lot of people were excited when it launched, and I got a lot of good feedback. But when things kind of fizzled down a little, I realized, okay, the majority of people other than this, like, little group on Substack, mostly people who already followed me, the majority of people who opt in for this now, they're not finishing it. Like, they're not opening after, like, the first couple days or whatever, they're not opening the emails, and it's too long. It's just too long as a free product, so, um, that's something I do not have the headspace for right now, but I would love to actually tweak that, turn it into a course where there's homework. I would love that because that is like old school teaching Christina from 10 years ago.
Yeah.
I would love that. And then make a shorter version that still helps me keep to my convictions, which is that I genuinely do want to make some of this stuff more accessible to people who have felt insecure about their lack of like writing knowledge. I really still
Mhm.
want there to be a free product for that. I care about that. I care about people having access to education. And I care about people feeling empowered and not, like, insecure. There's a lot of identity I know this sounds crazy, but I've heard this from so many people. There is a lot of identity stuff wrapped up in someone's ability to understand, like, punctuation marks
Yeah.
or things like that. It
Hmm.
just there's a lot that comes up there, and I just want people to feel not judged or frowned upon or insecure. I want them to feel empowered, and so I want that to still be a version of a free product, but the longer course is just it's not serving people while being that long and being free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it doesn't need to be a right now thing.
No, it really doesn't. I've been looking at my website thinking how many things I wanna, like, chop and change, and
Yeah,
then
I mean, it's time. It's been 2 years.
yeah, absolutely.
You have to keep
But
websites are
then
never done.
I've also been thinking, like, but I don't have time for that right now. 'Cause I've got God has given me this course that is the important thing that I need to be focusing
Yep.
on, and so that's what I'm gonna do, and so I'm just letting it be what it is, and it's just fine. Like, it's not everything I want it to be right now, but it's just fine.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly. Yep.
and then, yeah, I do once things kinda settle in August, once I finish my essays, I really wanna do some work on this. I also want new brand photos, and I know you want
I
new
know I really need some new ones. And shouldn't say need. The ones I have are carrying me through, but I would very much like them because it really having new brand photos really breathes new life in.
Mhm,
If for no other reason, just then you feel like you, the business owner, feels confident and energized and excited to share them, and that in and of itself, and for the same reason your writing course or your punctuation course and you did so well is because you were excited about it,
mhm.
and people are going to get excited about what you're excited about. So yeah, I've been looking at like what that looks like to hire somebody or what I want to do for that or what that's even going to look like, but right now I don't have this space for it. But yeah, it needs to happen.
I wish you could come here.
I know, yeah. What Brian and I were talking about, though, I think we are gonna come, but that's next year for the Tour de France next year.
Huh? Okay.
P.S. Are you okay with that? Please.
Chris would cry of delight.
I
Are you
know.
kidding
Brian
me?
was like, "Yeah, that sounds good," and I was like, "Wait, really?" He's like, "Yeah." Every time because for the listener, Brian and I have been scheduled to go twice, and twice now Brian has not been able to go at the final hour. Like he's not been
Uh-huh.
able to go for one really big reason or another. And so I have gone twice, but Brian has gone 0 times, and so we've been trying to get him to be able to come, and so we're hoping next summer at the very latest. But I was like, could we go sooner, maybe, Brian? So
Yeah.
it's in
If you
conversation.
were able to come sooner, we could hire a studio, like, in Oxford or something, and then do
Mhm,
beautiful photos around Oxford or Manchester, and then also some
mhm,
studio photos.
mhm.
That would be great. That just
Yeah,
feels like a better use of your money to just come to England
agreed.
and enjoy a trip, and then you have
Mhm,
a friend who will do your pictures,
mhm.
like
Agreed, agreed, agreed.
yeah, yeah.
Across the board. Across the board. Okay, I really do
Excellent.
have to go now, though.
Yeah, we've been chit-chatting for oh
Remember
my
when
god,
I was like, I don't want it to go for 2 hours? We're now on minute whatever, 100.
1:47, 1 hour
An
47
hour
minutes.
47.
Oh, man, we do not know how to be brief.
We
We
really
really
don't.
don't.
We've misnamed the podcast.
Okay, bye.